think it's tough enough to win one. We've done two, so you might as well go for three, right?
Our time, baby, back to back. That's how we do it.
What do you think of this team?
Unbelievable. Nobody can beat us. Back to back years.
It's so much fun to be a part of. The crowd can have an effect on teams. The emotions get turned up.
And then last year, they gave Vezina to somebody else. Number one bullshit. Oh, number one bullshit.
Here it is for you guys. Enjoy.
Welcome to We The Thunder. It's Shooter. We've got the Stash.
Is it the mustache? Who knows?
And we've got Thomas Gooley. And we had a huge Game 4 win, touchdown in Tampa tonight. 7-3 was the final score. Guys, why don't you give your first thoughts on the game tonight, starting with the Stash, who is at our home away from home, back at the District Tavern, the DT.
It's like I live here these days. I don't know. I need a cot in the back room. I'll tell you right now, I made it through. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here. I'm lucid. I'm alive. Started on Friday. It was a 3-day bender. I made it through. One loss, one victory with an amazing bar crawl in between. And I couldn't be happier with the result tonight. That place was rocking. If you were at your couch, I don't want to hear at home on your couch. I want to hear shit about whether it was loud or not, because it was. The Lightning came out with a minute in and set the tone. A lot of first points for a lot of guys getting on the score sheet in the playoffs in this game. And dominant first 40 minutes. A lot of people are probably pissed off with those 3 goals, but when it's all or nothing from a team like the Maple Leafs, they're gonna end up scoring. I mean, they're really, really, really good, and they're really talented, and you're not gonna really shut those guys out. You know, when you have a kind of lead like that, and you know they have got nothing to lose. Ingblom said it on the broadcast. So I'll tell you right now, that place tonight, that's playoff hockey. That's a hockey town showing up for their team, and that's a team responding and sending a message to the hockey world. Watch out. We're still the champs.
Schoolie.
Yeah, I thought the nice little helping of chunky soup tonight was pretty good. Hearing the crowd chant Campbell came over really good.
That was me.
Came over on the broadcast pretty good.
Nice.
Like he said, it's going to be hard to shut them out. They did it to us, but it was a great response. We said in order to lose this, we don't have to lose two in a row, but we do have to win 2 in a row.
That's the commentary.
And here's the first half.
Yeah.
And
we need back-to-back games for the first time in a while. We need back-to-back games.
And next game, Game 5, back in Toronto, is going to be huge. I think the stat is it's like 70% that win that Game 5 go on to win the series. So huge game coming up on, I guess that's going to be on Tuesday night up in Toronto. So let's break it down. There's a lot of goals scored tonight, starting right away with Stamkos getting back on track. Saw a lot of people talking about how he hadn't scored, but very quickly in this game, Goal for Stamkos. You know what I really liked about that goal, and I noticed this earlier in the season, no hesitation. He got the puck. He was in the right spot, even though look how far away he was.
So far.
But he didn't hesitate. He didn't let Campbell set up, and bam, 1-0 right off the bat.
What I liked about that is we had talked about how the D wasn't going in. They were staying to the blue line. And the reason why Stamkos was at the blue line was because Hedman went in. And Hedman actually screened Campbell. And that's how Stammer got it from so far out. But that was what I like to finally see, the D going off the blue line and Stammer going over to it in case it went the other way.
Yeah, and a lot of that's adjustments from the Lightning and not allowing that Toronto forward to leak out of the zone, which they've been doing in the 2 wins. They've been stretching the ice against us with that forward, forcing our defensemen to play off the blue line. They did a good job keeping the puck lower, so that wasn't as much of a threat. And what we saw tonight was the perfect amount of physicality, the perfect amount of hustle, the perfect amount of desperation, as people like to say here in the playoffs this time of year. They did exactly what they needed to do for that first really 50 minutes of the game. It was really, that last 10 or maybe 15, 10, 12 minutes, the Sergachev penalty, you can't do that. You can't do that, right? Because that's what kind of got them rolling late in the game. You don't, especially whenever you're up on them. Like, let them punch you in the face. Take one for the team, bro. You don't punch them in the face. You let them punch you in the face, pull the penalty, and you score. You know what I mean?
Well, you slow down, sir, because we've only talked about the first goal, and you're talking about Sergei's third period penalty.
I'm like, he's waving in the third period already.
Well, I was here. I don't know where you guys were. I was here.
Let's talk. Let's talk about the good stuff first, because Belly in that fourth line, all of a sudden, Belly's on the board. And then, not long after that, Pat Maroon was a whole different player tonight. With the deke and the moves. He didn't score on the first one, but he got the second one. Stuck with it, got the second one. That fourth line played awesome. And before we knew it, it was 3-0. What, 10 minutes into the game? This is what we were expecting for game 3.
Yeah.
And I saw you posted it. I didn't even see your post until after I retweeted a bunch on Twitter, the broken paddles. Everyone was breaking their paddles in like the first 10 minutes.
We ruined them. It was so loud tonight, man. I'm telling you. It was so loud. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was like I had flashbacks to the 2004 vibes tonight. I'm telling you. Like, there was something about coming up to the arena tonight and just the energy on the plaza. Like it just felt like not the last 2 seasons. It felt like a 2004 team. It felt like that fan base to me. And I think that could be the key to this third championship in a row is more of that mentality, not just to be dominant, but to be resilient and to find a way and to kind of surprise people that didn't think that they were going to really go deep in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, I think it's more of the can-do attitude and the more of the we're the fucking champs, you got to beat us. There was an interview with Coop yesterday where he was saying how this wasn't a must win and that he isn't worried about 5-on-5 goals because we've been doing it all series.
And then guess what happened?
And he didn't guarantee a win. They asked him, he said, we're going to win tomorrow, but went very short of guaranteed it. They even asked him, do you guarantee a win? And he says, I don't guarantee it, but we'll win tomorrow.
No.
And they did.
Right.
And you know what I liked about the rest of this first period was they went up 3-0, and then they had 2 really bad penalties called on them. So you had that trip by Chernak where it wasn't Chernak's stick. It was the guy got tangled up with Point's feet that we saw on TV. So it really shouldn't have been a penalty. They killed it. And then at the end of the period, they had that horrible call on Nick Paul, who they called for tripping while he's getting tripped.
And goes down.
Kasha
the guy
slashed him
and then falls down, and then it's a trip. Yeah.
So I think they were trying to say, like, when he leaned back, he tried to trip him as Kasha was going by him. But what I liked is it really didn't matter. The team kind of got that lead. They stuck with the plan and got to the second period and just started laying it on more. You got to give Cal Foote credit in that second period for that fourth goal. Sure, it was Colton who ripped it, and Campbell's got to save that. I'm surprised he didn't get pulled after that. But
chunky.
But if you remember, it was Foote who looked like he was going to break up an odd man rush, and then he hit the guy, and then he got the puck to tip it to somebody who got it to Colton. So a heck of a play by Foote, who right after that left the game for a little bit, but he did come back later.
And Foote got his first NHL postseason point.
Yeah,
on that goal, Colton goal, right? Yeah. I tweeted they should have gave him 2 assists on that goal because he stopped an odd man rush, hit the guy, and then got it back to I think somebody else touched it before it got over to Colton. But man, Colton had a great game too. I know his second goal was an empty netter, but
Hagel had that great pass to him.
Yeah,
we had some sightings of the bagel tonight. Yeah,
I thought he was one of the best players in the game. He was all over that ice.
Him and Maroon.
Yeah.
And he was feeling it. He was feeling it too because he threw the gloves down at the end. Stash, I don't know if you saw that on TV in time when you got to the tavern, but he threw down, and the Toronto player didn't want anything to do with it.
Well, Point got pissed at there in the third period right before I left. Like I left about halfway through the third period just so I could get here and get set up. It was still a shutout when I left. All the goals were scored, and now I feel personally responsible for that. I was trying to be here and be prepared and be professional, and then I left the game early. So maybe next Thursday, you guys might have to wait for me a little bit to get here and get set up because I don't think I'll be leaving the game early. But that being said, yeah, he had a great game. Maroon came back and basically shut up all the haters tonight, and that was a beautiful thing. You know, we had a lot of guys, Stamkos, Maroon, Belmar, Hagel, Paul, all had first playoff points tonight. So that's something that we really needed to see, right? That top line was really buzzing, and that top line looked hungry, and the fourth line did their job. When everyone was saying, oh, they can't play this game, they can't play. I'll tell you right now, that fourth line was the best line tonight. From what I saw, they did their job.
They had a hell of a game. You even had Perry. It wasn't on the fourth line, but Perry had the power play goal on the 5-on-3, which I wish I had teed up that Cooch fake shot. And then the pass over to Perry was ridiculous.
Deadly.
I still don't like our 5-on-3 approach. Like we try to pass it into the net.
I agree.
And we should be shooting, but they scored, so I'm not going to complain about it. Yeah. And then there was a moment, and I don't know if you guys noticed this at the arena, but Nylander was going into the boards, chasing down a puck, and it was about to go in there with Chernak, and he didn't want no Chernak smacks. And he basically just turned away and took a line change. And I was like, yep, we're up 5-0 at this point. I was like, did we just break the Toronto Maple Leafs? Are they done? Because we've had series in the past where we knew the breaking point where, hey, this team is done. Now, it's only tied up 2-2.
We've talked about it.
But it sure seemed like Nylander, who, by the way, came back and scored 2 goals in the third period.
Yeah.
So can't really say that much about him specifically, but Tavares had a rough game. Bunting was just getting bullied all game.
Yes, he was.
So Matthews. I don't know. Maybe this is the game we broke the Leafs.
Austin who?
Austin Matthews was there, and I saw Chernak give him a good hit too this game. Finally, someone putting a body on him.
He got him on. He got him in game 2, and that's when, or game 1 actually. No, game 3. It was actually game 3. He got him in game 3, but that's whenever they pulled the top line off of the power play because he got Matthews with a big hit along the sideboards, and then after that we only saw the second through fourth line. So. He's been there before, but now it was in a victory. That was in a loss and kind of a retaliation. This is sending a message in a victory, and there's a lot of different tone to that type of a play whenever you're winning versus when you're losing, right?
Yeah. And so who else scored? We got the Perry goal. You had
the boss is on the board.
Ross ×2. You had Palat. It was going off tonight.
Sweet Caroline. Which, by the way, our friend Anthony from Neat Freaks, who was down here yesterday hanging out with us, and messaged me personally. It's like, what's up with the Sweet Caroline thing? And I'll tell you what, right now, you just lost the ping pong battles. That's hilarious. My God.
Someone posted that on memes. Toronto's Twitter.
Oh, my God. That's one of the best memes I have ever seen. Oh, that's epic. That's epic. But no, what was I saying? Yeah. Oh yeah. He was messaging me about how the Sweet Caroline, song being in Tampa and Boston and everything. But I think from Pally, it's one of the greatest trolls of all time, right? Like you're a Tampa player and now your goal song is the Boston Red Sox like seventh inning stretch song, and they all hate it anyways. Like they'll tell you in their fan base they don't really like it, but I think it was hilarious that's his new goal song on the way out of Tampa Bay. That's his last little swan song, his last little troll, his little dig, saying "I love you, Tampa Bay. Let's troll Boston every time I score a goal." I love it.
I see some good points in the chat. I'm curious who you guys are talking about with 3 stars of the game. I mean, there were a lot of players that really stepped up tonight. So I'm curious who you guys had. Got the phone line up there if you want to give us a call. We are going to give out some stuff tonight. We've still got our Smack shirt for one lucky caller or commenter. We've got Malektronics and also Pucks and Pizza. So lay out some good comments. If you call in, that's some extra points for you. So got the number up there.
Is Donnie Pepin smoking something up there in Toronto?
Yeah.
Because this shit says Tampa, baby, not Toronto. All right. It might be a basketball jersey. And yes, we hosted your fucking team whenever, Canada wouldn't let them play games there. But I'll tell you right now, this El Capitan, Steven Stamkos, the #1 goal of the night. All right. Don't get it fucking twisted.
Hey, do us a favor if you're watching, hit the like button or the love button or the happy button, anything but the bad, like unhappy face button.
Yeah.
That helps us, helps other people find us. Go find Donnie Pepin.
Go find Donnie Pepin on his own thing and angry face him. Don't angry face our show because of him. Okay. although I don't mind it because I'll take an angry face every once in a while. I don't mind pissing people off. But
all right, I want to see
nothing to be mad about tonight. Is there really anything to be mad about tonight?
I mean, not really. I mean, I saw some people kind of complaining about giving up those goals towards the end, but they were meaningless goals. One was a perfect screen. When you're up that much, who cares? Yeah. Who cares about the shutout?
Yeah, and they came back and scored 2 more after that. That was the thing. If it would have been 5-3, then I would have been like, okay, like game 2 basically, right? That's I was a little bit nervous about that. But they came back and still put empty netter in. They still scored. You know what I mean? Like they didn't just let them score. They maintained their own momentum as well. So I think that is a little bit of a difference, right? And Thomas Scully basically scooped me because I was going to say the thing that we have to talk about now. The commentary isn't, the Bolts don't lose back to back. It's the Bolts have to win back to back now. Mm-hmm. Toronto won the first game. They held home ice as they held home court advantage, if you will. So they don't. All they have to do is not lose twice in a row, just like us. So now it's on the Lightning to go up to Toronto, game 5, and do the exact same thing in their house. It's up to Stamkos to actually play good in Toronto, right? It's up to Kucherov to finally find his game 100% because his dial is still at about a fucking 7, if you ask me. So
yeah, he's not full effect Kucherov. I'm still waiting for this guy. Which, by the way, we got to give Sarah a shout out.
Yeah.
I have my. Oh, you got yours on too. I got my Count Sergachev shirt on.
Listen, the only reason I didn't wear it is because I'm at the game and I had to wear blue today. I just felt like I had to wear blue. It was a home game. I had to wear blue. That's it.
That's understandable. But you got which one did you get?
That's from the giveaway yesterday. Cerny Smacks. What are you talking about? What did I get?
And he was giving out the smacks tonight.
He was laying down the smack. The smack down. That's what Cerny was doing. His best rock imitation.
So thank you, Sarah. I love this shirt. I'm wearing it. It's dirty. I wore it yesterday too.
Hey, that's hilarious. I wore the same shirt I wore for the crawl yesterday too. So hey.
Sure, the stash. We shower. We just wear dirty clothes again. We don't do laundry much.
Unlike some people that were here yesterday, I actually shower regularly, wear deodorant, and I'm also a cologne guy as well. So I promise you, I still smelled fresh today.
And don't just take off with stuff. I'm reading I'm reading Toronto's Twitter real quick.
Hold on, we got to pause you. We got one calling in. I don't know who this is. They're not saved in my phone, so let's find out. Hopefully, it's not Donnie Pepin. Who is this?
I hope it's Donnie Pepin.
It's Steven, boys. Hello.
Hey, man, what's happening?
Little Killer in the house.
Yes, Little Killer has been out for 2 weeks with a sprained ankle, but I came back tonight and we gave our goalie a shutout, so I'm pretty excited.
This is your own league here.
Yeah, we got our goalie a 4-0 shutout after my triumphant Little Killer return after a minor injury.
There you go. And it carried over to Amelie. Hold on, though. Thomas has a scoop for us.
Because Shooter's team sucked and lost their playoff game, so good thing you're winning there, Little Killer.
We need to sign you.
Well, we're back-to-back champions of our own, so it's very, very coincidental.
All right, you show off. So, hey, what do you have 3 stars of the game for us?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very solid 15 minutes of hockey that the Bolts played. I guess for me, I like Hagel. I'd probably put him as my number 3 star. That man was getting beat up, but he was making plays, and he did take that one hit there, and I was like, Lord, but looks like the Bolts out most of the Leafs tonight. Number 2 star. I like Pointer, but I gotta give it to Stammer for like you guys were saying in the beginning of the show. They no passing around, no let's take an extra pass, take an extra look. No, just get the puck to the net, and it looks like Stamkos made that pretty efficient goal there. Yeah.
Hey, I like your Pointer pick because he only had 1 assist, I think. Yeah, he had 1 assist, was a +1. But how did he not score tonight? Because he was all over the ice.
He had so many opportunities.
So it's only.
Yeah, Point was
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, he was. I don't know. Point was. What they were saying something in the feed. I think when I was watching the game, they're like, "Oh yeah, Point's dealing with some sort of injury and blah blah blah," but he's looking great. I'm like, it doesn't look like he looks fine to me. But he was doing his little McDavid impression, cutting to the defense. But I don't know if he's been stoned there. But I'm pretty sure next game maybe it'll boil over for him.
I think he was feeling it. That was my first really note of like the overall game was Point is having these really good chances. He was feeling it. Well, and overall the whole team was playing a lot faster. Their passes were on point. And their defense was pinching up like we do. And that's when we win, is when that defense is kind of activated. They're pinching up and they're doing their thing. And it was just pure lightning hockey tonight.
Yeah. And you know what? That's what I was thinking going into period 2. I was like, this is it. This is lightning hockey. That's what we saw. And we saw for the first 50 minutes really of that game, 50 minutes of that game, we saw lightning hockey. And even that last 10 minutes or 12 minutes, sure, they scored some goals. But like I said, the Lightning didn't lay down either. Okay, so Toronto, you got to give them credit. This isn't the same Toronto team we've seen the last few years in the playoffs. Okay, they've got a lot more spunk. They've got a lot more fight back than we've seen. But the Lightning didn't let them come back and then stay static like they did in game 2. They still responded. They still played physical. They didn't just lay down and let them score. Toronto finally came out and said, hey, we can actually make plays. And they did. They made a couple of good plays. That shot pass on that first goal was, a perfectly executed play. You can you know what I mean? You can't defend that.
That Toronto's second goal, there was nothing Vasi could have done to get that one.
The screen?
He could have done.
Yeah, and then
he had 4 guys in front of him.
Right. Then you had
like you just had to get it on net.
Perfect shot pass. Then you had the screen. And then you had a little bit of a hustle goal. That's going to happen. But what I really liked, again, is that the Lightning didn't lay down. They came back, and they still scored a couple more. They got the empty netter. You know what I mean? They didn't just lay down and let them come back a little bit and still momentum for game 5. They maintain, I think, their momentum and domination overall in this game.
Yeah, they've got to. They got to figure out how to win back to back, and game 5 is going to be the one that they have to do it.
We talking about winning back to back cups. Now it's time to win back to back games, right?
Yeah, I was reading Toronto's Twitter, and it's being trolled hard by Tampa fans. So good for them, because Toronto fans did it to us.
Matt, right?
But then here's some good ones. I went to put my dirty wash in the washing machine when suddenly my mom ran into the room and shouted at me when she saw Austin Matthews in there. And she said, "He's already washed up, son."
Oh,
I won't make that same mistake again, they said.
I like this. Go ahead. What is that, man?
Matthews. Matthews was very non-existent tonight. I didn't even think I heard his name once.
And Marner and Matthews both. The M&Ms were definitely less than prolific tonight.
Tavares has been the least named person on that team. He did get an assist tonight, but they are crucifying him. The NHL did pick as the 3 stars of the game Pat Maroon as the 3-star, Hagel as the 2-star, and Victor Hedman as the number 1 star.
Yeah, I mean, listen, fucking Norris Trophy. I'll let Victor Hedman do what he does in the playoffs, right? Like we've talked about on the show a lot. Individual trophies, we wish that they got acknowledged more than they. We should have a couple more Vezines in the cabinet. We should have at least one more Jack Adams in the closet. We should have a couple more Norris trophies in the closet. But you know what? I'll take the Stanley Cups and the Conn Smythes instead, right? So I like what Hetty's doing right now. We saw him in Game 2, and even Game 3, he still played well, even in the loss. Like that's what we need to see out of him.
That's a good segue into, if you did not check out our podcast from yesterday from the bar crawl,
please.
You need to, because we have Chris Dingman on it.
For
but
you.
If you hang out till the end, which you will, because it's actually a really good podcast. I one of the only ones I've listened to of our own show.
Yeah.
But at the end, we actually go back to our original predictions from the beginning of the season, and we do talk about like awards, which we really couldn't kind of recap that quite yet.
Yeah.
But there were a bunch of things that we did hit on, all of us really, in our predictions. So go check that out. Hang out for Dinger, but stick around for those predictions at the end. They're pretty good. If
you're a fan of Dinger, yesterday was by far he was so nonchalant and very open, didn't shy away from anything. He lets you know what he thinks about him, and his kids think about Toronto. And some of the players that are on the team now, and some old players that he's played with before, like Achara. So it's a really good interview. It's the only one I've ever listened to again, and I did that.
Yeah, I asked him if he was the commissioner, what would he do?
Yeah,
and we won't give it away. Go watch it.
No, don't. I really want to, because I did give a little bit of a spoiler in the arena tonight. I talked to a couple people building the brand. That's what I do. But I did say, hey, Dinger had some good points about what he would do, and they're just tweaks. I don't think he said he wouldn't change a lot. They're just little tweaks. You got to go listen, because I'll tell you right now, we did 45 minutes with the guy. Before we came on, we were like, hey, how much time you got? Blah, blah. And we didn't want to take too much time. We're not selfish. We're givers on this show. You guys know that. We give away. We don't really take. And we're like, hey, maybe 30 minutes. Well, guess what? It went to 45 minutes, and we kind of had to almost kind of kick him out the door a little bit, because we felt we were monopolizing his time on a Saturday. I think he would have probably, like, if we wanted to go 2 hours, he probably would have been. And by the way, he was on the exercise bike while he was doing the interview with us. Ain't technology grand? It's amazing, but I think he would have done 2 hours on the bike. He probably didn't even get off the bike after the show. He probably did at least another 15, 20 minutes. We could have had him that long. And I won't be surprised if he's on the show again in the future, and almost like a regular,
he should be on something. He's just good at talking about hockey and stuff.
I mean,
he should have his own podcast.
He's so he's approachable. He knows his game, and again, like I told him, I kind of went a little fanboy on him, but I loved him when he did Lightning Insider, because he brings a unique perspective to the game because of the style of game that he played as a player, and he won 2 cups in 2 different teams that were both really fucking good teams. By the way, he played with some of the best of his era. Chris Dingman played with them. So,
and he's all for a 20-year reunion.
And that's right. And we are going to spearhead it. You tell him, Thomas. You tell him, Thomas.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get that hashtag going to get the Mr. Vinnick to get this 20-year reunion of the 04 team back here. And Dingman said he will be here. Now, we talked about Hetty for the Norris. The finalists will be announced tomorrow. All finalists for all the NHL awards get released tomorrow, so we will know.
I think Hetty will be there. I think he'll be third.
He is expected to be the third nomination.
Yeah.
Behind Fox and Cal.
By the way,
Colorado's D-man.
We got Lightning fans up in the house tonight coming up here.
There's two
celebrating the victory. It's not, it's a Sunday night and we still got people on the town. That's what I want to say. Sunday night game, Mother's Day. And that was one of the most rocking games I've been to, even last playoffs. They showed up tonight. And if you want to sit there at home and say, oh, Leafs fans were there, but Friday, there was a small percentage of Leaf fans. There were fewer Leaf fans today than Friday. There was hardly any Leaf fans in the building tonight, and we shut them down.
So Stammer kind of what we said. Stamkos said this was a great step, but with all the inconsistency in the series, they need to buck the trend and bring this performance in back-to-back games. So,
and I think it's got to be him that does it. He's got to get a multiple point game going up in Toronto, because this next game is going to be huge. They come back here and up with the chance to close it out. These guys know they've lost enough game sixes. They know what to do. So hopefully they can bring it home. Hey, we still got Steven C on the line. You got anything else for us, Steven? I'll let you go.
Sorry, man.
I guess my first star, I mean, you could pick almost anybody, but I like the fourth line, because they don't get enough credit they deserve. I think they said that we went 12-6 today, which means, they get a little more ice time.
They all scored
you can clearly tell that.
Yep.
I'm not biased because I do wear a Belmar's number. I wear 41, so I was like, it's always good energy to see, that line producing, and Corey Perry with his playmaking abilities, Pat Maroon being a Pat Maroon. It's always fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. Give that whole line the first star of the game.
All 3 stars.
Yeah.
Just figure out, who gets the
right
first, second, third. Let's give all 3 of them. You know what I mean? Maybe, I don't know.
All right, can we give Steven C one of our prizes now, since he called in with some good takes?
Damn right.
Malektronics, Thomas?
Sure.
Let's do it. All right, man. You're getting some Malektronics. Hit us up with a DM.
You get the Bluetooth speaker, brother.
Does that work?
Yeah, I'll take it and blast. Yeah, of course. I'll take it and blast it in the locker room once I recruit shooters to this squad.
There you go. You just have to tell your team to come watch us.
You just put the show on afterwards whenever you're in the game. You just put it on Spotify. Go find us on YouTube, Spotify, wherever we are. You can find us. Go to onemob.p. Shoot the stash, be the thunder. You'll find us and put it in the locker room whenever you guys are getting ready. Let us inspire you guys to go out and win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you really want to win, call your boy for a sub. You're short. You want a couple goals? Always good for a couple.
Look, if he shows up on the ice, I'll show up in the stands, and I'll do my best Pat Maroon from the bench right behind the guys, because I can say where the fuck I won in beer leagues.
All right, man.
Yeah, we can definitely get Thomas behind the bench coaching us.
Yes. Yeah, we need.
He'll just be live tweeting, looking for people stealing shit.
Coach Schooley with his chewing gum. All right, we're gonna let you go. Open up the phone line, see if anyone else is brave enough to call into this show. But we'll give you a lightning strike on the way out, brother. Oh, you're breaking up. I appreciate you, Mini Killer. We'll talk to you next game.
Little kill.
All right. Phone line is open. Still want to see some more of those 3 stars of the game. The one thing that I noticed this game was how heavy this team is riding on whatever Victor Hedman does in these games. If you look at game 1, he was a -2. Didn't have. I was talking a little bit of smack about him on the game 1 post game show, because he just didn't have a good game. Game 2 bounces back 4 points. We win. Game 3, -3. And then tonight he's a +4 with 1 assist. And if you look at that,
right away.
No matter what he does, this team's going to follow. So
you
right
can
now,
say what you want about any of the other superstars on this team, Bassey included. This team lives and dies by Victor Hedman. And that's why I think it's a shame that he's the number 3 Norris guy. It's a shame he's not even in the heart conversation. That guy's the MVP of our team every season, period. There's nobody more important to this team every year than Victor Hedman.
And you know what he was doing a little bit more too? He was taking some shots on the power play, like he listened to the show or something, or his coaches.
I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Let's not worry about that Norris, and let's get him the Conn Smythe
again. It's like 2020. Hey, like it's 2020, baby, right? Listen, I'll tell you right now, though, my bold prediction on the NHL social media thing was Steven Stamkos for the Conn Smythe. And I know he had a very quiet first 3 games, but it only takes the Capitone getting a little bit heated, and he's going to go on a run. That guy can have 3.4 nights, and I agree. And I know Orozco said, he got the first goal, and then I disagree. I saw him forechecking. He had some really good plays, physicality on the half board. He made a couple of great plays to maintain possession. That top line all across the board was buzzing. I know Point was down on the second line, but Palat, Kucherov, Stamkos, I mean, we could basically give out stars for the lines, right? So first star is the fourth line. Number 2 star is the first line. And then I think the Hagel and Paul line played really fucking good tonight.
Yeah.
Hagel finally looks like, and I said this after the last game, even in the loss, it looks like he's finally starting to find his positioning on the ice. You know, I didn't get to watch him a lot in Chicago, so I don't really know what role he played to score that much, but I almost feel like he kind of just got fed the puck because the other 2 guys are getting covered because he was on that top line. You know what I mean? Whereas now, like the way the Lightning play hockey is that it's all committee. It's all committee. You like there's a center and wingers, but they rotate so much. It's all about positioning rather than actual your role or whatever the letter is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's who pinches in, because the D-men are also so active, and he's still kind of learning how to play on a team that's A, this talented, and B, has such an active blue line. And the last couple games, we've seen him starting to really find his skates, find his stick, find his place on the ice. And, man, the boys were buzzing on all the lines tonight. Orozco, really all the lines were buzzing. You know, Killer was out there playing killer hockey. He could have had a goal and an extra assist tonight. Had a little bit of extra puck luck it found us. But what I do like about tonight's game is that it wasn't that much puck luck. It was a lot of hard work, and basically all those goals were solid, earned goals. It wasn't a good bounce or this or that. It was they worked fucking hard, and they scored a goal, and they were rewarded.
You kind of touched on the game the other night where they got the lead and they kind of played crappy that last 7 minutes. They didn't do that tonight. Yes, they gave up some goals, but even look at that icing that Pointer tried beating out against Riley.
And he did, by the way.
No, in the replay, he ended up not. It was barely.
Well, because he was getting cut off by Riley.
He got interfered with, but whatever.
But they weren't giving up. They were still going for it. They were going for the empty net. It was things that we don't see them normally do, and it looked like they were back to having fun. Now, Kucherov, I thought, played a hell of a game. We just had him and Vassy both had yesterday off for body maintenance day.
Yeah.
And I think that helped them. I think that helped them both.
You know, I will still say one thing about Kucherov is that I still think there's like another 2 or 3 year maturation process for him until he gets to that Ovi level of wherever he is now, right? Because I think he gets bodied off a lot of pucks and he gets out physical just because of his size. He's not really a huge guy. Like he's kind of an average size hockey player. So I think he's going to have to figure out a way over the next couple of years to use skill over physicality to win some of those battles, right? And because he's retaliatory. That's what we've seen, right? If he has a decent game, but if he gets bullied a little bit physically, he's not afraid to.
He gets out of the game.
Shit out of you. He will slash the shit out of you. He will fucking spear you. He will trip you.
It's a Russian thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a Russian thing. Those guys can't keep it inside.
Ovi did the same fucking thing until what was that 15 or 16 that they won the cup? Was it 16? I can't remember. But it was the year that we played them in the ECF. No,
16 was Blackhawks, was it?
Yeah, 17.
So it was 17.
Yeah.
17. So and that's when he changed his game. Ovi changed his game. Kucherov needs to figure out sooner rather than later that same switch to flip, the Ovi switch. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not a dial. That's a fucking switch. I'll say that right now. That's not a dial. That's a switch. You got to flip that switch and know how to stop being retaliatory and figure out how to use your skill to beat the bullies. That's what you got to do.
Same thing with Sergachev. Shooter sat there and pulled up his shirt.
That was a terrible penalty he took.
Because that's a Sergachev thing too.
Yeah, and they let that
get in their head
and
they're just gonna fight you.
Right, and I said that earlier. You got to step back and take that punch. Don't punch him. Let them punch you because you're already punching them in the face on the scoreboard. There's no reason to physically punch him in the face right now. If you're losing, yes, punch him in the face. But that's your time to let them take another penalty. And guess what? No shorties tonight, right? No shorties from Toronto.
They had some
chances.
They had some breakaways.
They did, but the PK held up. The PK held up finally. You could bear the guys taking the penalties, but the PK still has to do their job too. And you know what? Alex Killorn wasn't one of the ice time leaders for the forwards. And you know what that means? That means that he wasn't out killing penalties. And that's a good thing. It's a bad thing when Alex Killorn is one of the leading ice time guys for the forwards because that means he's on the PK.
He had 18 minutes. He had more than Stamkos.
Right. But normally, whenever like the last few games, he's been over 20 because he's not on the PK.
They only had three power plays.
3 full power plays. Right.
Yeah. That was the one thing that I really didn't like about this game is we went, 1 for 8 on the power play. I'd like to see a couple more goals on those power plays. I think Perry was the only power play goal. But I felt like they should have scored a couple more on the power play. That's a little concerning, but I think at the end of the day, if you look at the big picture of this series, Toronto scoring all their goals or most of their goals on the power play or shorthanded.
Yes.
5-on-5.
They're special teams.
Not so much.
Yeah.
So
they're feasting on special teams. The Lightning are feasting on 5-on-5, and that's what I think the most important takeaway from tonight is that the first 3 goals, 5-on-5, all even strength goals. They came out, they dominated physically, they were winning the battles, they weren't over checking, they weren't over pursuing, they weren't overplaying the game. They let the game come to them, and it came to them easy and often in that first period. And that set the tone. It set the tone for the guys on the ice, and it set the tone for everyone inside the building.
School, you got any breaking news for us?
Someone pointed it out. Toronto never once tweeted out the score until it was over with. But there's a great stat that I saw. They've played 240 minutes of hockey. Those 240 minutes, they've been tied for 44 minutes.
Yeah.
One of them has been up by 1 for 34 minutes. One of them has been up by 2 for 55 minutes. They've been up 3 or more for 106 minutes. These games are a huge blowout. I mean, and we talked about it with Dinger yesterday of how these series are so matched up. But then there's all these 5-2 games, 5-3 games, and every single one of us has done 5. All the games tonight so far have had at least 5 goals. The Kings are up 2-0 already against Edmonton. All home teams are won tonight. The Kings are at home. So this would be a home sweep if the Kings end up finishing it off. But every single game today had at least 5 goals in it.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's been a different playoffs. Yeah. That's for sure. Because usually you see a lot more, overtime games in the first round, and these are just these slugfests back and forth. Like we're going to beat you and you're going to beat us. Look at the Carolina series.
Yeah,
where Boston's come right back into it, and it was their superstars that got them back into it. Which I kind of like about tonight. It wasn't our superstars. It was that fourth line. It was our other players that got us that win tonight. First, it was Stamkos that led it off, the captain.
Too. It was the top and the bottom. It was all through. We had Colton on them. We had Hagel. We had, you know what I mean? Like, finally, we had full exposure of our depth scoring. That was the thing.
And check this out. I just retweeted. Dingman just had a good video. He just retweeted. Let me throw it up here. This is that moment that we might have broken Toronto, or maybe it was a little bit right before this. Well, let me find it here.
So now Tampa and Florida are the only teams in the East that have not played more than one goalie.
Yeah.
I know. We got to get out of this. We got to get out of this round.
After Shesterkin and now fucking Soup got pulled, we are one of only 2 teams that still has not pulled our goalie in playoffs.
Yep.
And you know what?
And you might see Bobrovsky do it.
I'll be surprised if he starts the next game. Actually, I don't think he'll get pulled. I think he won't even fucking start.
Yeah, Knight might be in net tomorrow. I would. It's gonna be interesting.
If Knight isn't starting tomorrow, I mean, I'm not gonna be extreme. I'll be surprised. I'm just gonna say that. Sorry. I built that up way too much, but I'll just be mildly surprised if Spencer Knight isn't starting tomorrow.
So check this out from Dinger. This is not how you win championships. The original tweet says William Nylander soft, but this is that play I was talking about where he has a really good opportunity. He's going into the corner with Chernak. That puck is his. Look at that.
Yeah,
he just gave up. So we're gonna find out on Tuesday if the Toronto Maple Leafs have given up like he just did on that puck.
Yeah.
All right, final or what do we have to do to win Tuesday? Let's get the final thoughts. Let's wrap this puppy up. Let's give away a couple more things.
More of the same.
We just got to move on and win the next game.
We're not going to get the matchups we want because now Toronto's going to get that. We actually did better last season on the road than we did at home when Cooper wasn't overthinking the matchups. But I think tonight's game opened it up more. Because now they're not going to know who to cover. Now you got that bus line scoring, and now you're going to have to worry about them. You got Stammer scoring from the blue line. He's heating it up. You had Point
the power play tonight too.
Right, you had Point who was buzzing that whole ice all night. So who are you going to get to cover this? Because it seems like I'd seen someone said playoff mode has actually been activated now by these Lightning, and they've turned up the dial, Stash. They have turned it up, and it's gonna come back. I think this was a great head game for the Lightning in their favor, and they're just gonna come out on Tuesday and be nasty and get that win so that they can come home and finish it in Game 6 at Amalie Arena.
Well, here's my thing. I really think that if you're Toronto now, you think you got to win one in Tampa, right? Mm-hmm. You got to win one more in Tampa. And I think after tonight, like Friday night was great and we had a good energy, but the guys just weren't quite there, and so the fans, we tried to be there, but tonight it did. Tonight the stars all aligned. We scored that goal 1 minute in, and that was it. That was it. As soon as I was there, boys, I was there. And as soon as Stamkos scored that fucking goal, we knew. The whole arena knew it was game over. It was game over. El Capitan did his job. We got the first goal, and it was huge. The momentum never waned after that. And that house was rocking. The barn was rocking. And I think what really matters when you go up to Toronto is you got to keep the fans out of it. You got to go up there and you got to score that first goal early. Mm-hmm. Like the Lightning have to stick the skate on the neck put the pressure on and score that first goal within the first 5 minutes of the game. I mean, I hate to do that, to be that specific in a game that is a game of inches. But I really believe they need to go up there, maintain this momentum, and score within at least the first 5 to 10 minutes, at least that first half of that period. They got to dominate. I mean, tonight, Toronto only had one shot on goal halfway through the first period. By the end of the period, I think they ended up with 8.
It's 10-10. 10-10.
So in the end, they ended up in the second half. They got some more opportunities, but they weren't great opportunities, and the Lightning were already up 3-0. So they'd already established themselves before Toronto got 2 shots on goal.
It's funny is we talked about this pit in our stomach on Friday's game and how it was all nervous. And it's so weird on a game when you're behind 2-1 in a series, knowing that the Lightning don't lose back-to-back games. I was like, we're going to win tonight. There wasn't that pit in my stomach like there was Friday. It was like
you and me the same.
This is a win. Like
you guys are too spoiled with this whole not losing back-to-back games in the playoffs. Just like, no, not worried. We lost the last game.
But again, at the same time as I was confident in winning tonight, immediately my brain went to, well, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they won game 1. So we could not lose back-to-back games, maintain that amazing dominant streak, and still lose the series.
Yeah,
we have to win. It's not about losing. It's best of 3. We need to win 2 in a row.
I keep pulling up this comment because it is the first team that scores that's won every game in the series so far.
Sarah said it too.
All right, let's give out some Pucks and Pizza and some Smack shirts. You guys pick. I gave Steven the speaker for calling in. So you guys got any favorite comments of the night for the 3 stars of the chat? Steven is one of the 3 stars. Congrats. What else you guys got?
I like this one.
I got to go back. Oh, we were both looking at the same guy trying to find, because I thought he was Derek Yates. You were fucking strong in the chat, and I was just trying to find your best comment.
Derek Yates.
Scully did it.
There you go. How about we'll hook him up with that Smack Apparel shirt for this show. So shoot us your size and your address, Derek.
Hold on. I got it. I got to find the right comment, though.
Pucks and Pizza, by the way, for the people that don't know Pucks and Pizza, it's over here in Palm Harbor on Tampa Road. Some deep dish pizza. I like their thin crust pizza too. So you got a free puck pizza. It's like a little personal pan pizza from those guys over there at Pucks and Pizza.
Never, Orozco, never shave the Han Notes mustache, but you get the 3rd star of the night for that. 3rd star of the night for hashtagging about the stash. You know how to pander. Well done.
All right, cool, man. What do we got? The s'mores, little bites. Thomas, you eat like what my children are eating right now for breakfast.
Literally, this is what I have to tell my son you can't have. I have to negotiate with my son. Hey, you know what though? He likes the brownies. He's a full-on little bite brownie man. I love him. The chocolate chips. The chocolate chip muffins are a close second. But
these are limited edition, and let me tell you, they are delicious. I will be getting a 2nd box tomorrow because I will be eating this whole box tonight.
Hold on. I forgot I have to change my name to Shooter Bear. There we go. There we go. All right, final thoughts. Let's get the heck out of here. We've got to come back on Tuesday, and hopefully we're going to keep the good times rolling Tuesday night.
Dude, I'm alive. I just want to say right now, my final thoughts. I'm here. I'm alive. I survived the 3-day bender. I've been in and out of Tampa. I've been commuting. Oh, God damn, I wish we had a light rail so I didn't have to drive the Ram all the way down here and back.
Stash has spent at least $400 in gas this weekend.
Yeah,
Not kidding.
I don't want to talk about it. Thank God for free tickets. But, you know, well, damn it, Kevin Callan coming in late. But you already won this series anyway, so yeah. So you can't win anyway. It's this series. But that being said, man, tonight was great. This whole weekend was fantastic. I know Friday was a little bit of a downer that we lost the game, but Lightning fans showed up. There were not nearly as many Toronto fans as everyone's expecting. Like there were people saying there was 30% Toronto fans in the house. There was not that many. There was maybe 4,000 or 5,000 Toronto fans. Both and there was less tonight. There was less tonight
Too many
than Game
still.
5. I don't think so. I mean, they basically fucking live here anyways, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know what I mean.
And by the way, we noticed this during Game 3. The only jersey they own is
Fucking
Austin
Matthews.
Matthews. There's
That's
no
it.
other players. There's
Dude,
no other players on Toronto
right
to,
in front
to
of us.
any of the fans
By
that
the
are
way,
here.
some idiot Toronto fans bought tickets in 307. Big mistake, right? Because Six of Fire just shamed the fuck out of them all night. But then there was 4 of them. Guess what? 3 out of 4 jerseys, Matthews. The 4th one, Garnier. So okay, 1 old school fan, 3 guys that had and by the way, all of them look brand new. They all look like brand new jerseys. Not a single beer had been spilt on those sweaters yet. And I'm sorry, I call bullshit. If you really go to hockey games, that sweater's going to get some beer stains on it, all right? The longer you have it, the more. My black Hetty sweater is basically, it's a good thing it's black because it's just one giant beer stain. I've had it for 7 years. That's my oldest jersey. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Derek again, because I don't even think we mentioned Happy Mother's Day. So all the mothers that listen, that are out there, that are watching,
the ladies,
this, we appreciate you guys. And
best.
hopefully you guys all had a good day, and the lightning delivered for you too. So happy
all the
Mother's Day,
moms.
everyone.
Yeah, we had some moms from Six of Fire tonight too with Greg Wolf. They're out there right in front whenever they did the hype up. They got to yell on the mic with Greg Wolf. So yeah, that was a fun time.
Yes, Kim, we see your comments in there. Thank you for joining us. Thank everybody that joined us for the bar crawl yesterday. It was pretty fun.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. Thanks for coming down and showing the support at District Tavern.
It was the most populated bar that we went to all night for Lightning fans, and I know that had to do with our show. I know in my heart that's what it was. So thank you. Go ahead, Thomas.
I counted the cards that we had for the tickets. We had 46. So 46 people entered for the tickets, the free tickets yesterday. Thank you to Serena for going around and doing that.
Yes. And by the way, in the first intermission, I ran into the 2 wonderful ladies that won the tickets, and I got to kind of, do my thing.
Scare them.
Yeah, I knew there's no way I was going to come off looking good in this situation, but I actually got to go up.
What is going on?
Yeah, I went full Espo on them. We have the same name for a reason, right? No, but I was able to thank them. Hey, I saw them as I was going back in. They're sitting on the beer garden. Like, hey, I'm glad you ladies had, and of course we were winning. It was already 3-0 at that point. So, and honestly, we've had a lot of seminal moments, seminal, important moments on this show. We've talked about them in the past, but what we didn't even realize is one of those ladies that got those tickets is dealing with a serious situation with her father, and it's just been a lot of negativity and just not really winning in life lately. And then the fact that, and then really both of them, they both told me we just feel we have this friend who's just on social media, winning all the time. And what did I do wrong that I'm not also getting good things happening to me? And then they won the tickets and they went to the game tonight and
saw a good old fashioned Tampa Bay ass whooping.
And the sincerity and the gratitude of being able to go to this game and to feel like winners. That's what we do this for. And I felt so honored and privileged to be able to see them tonight and to be able to walk up and follow up after what was a great day yesterday on a bar call, giving out everything we did, helping everybody out. That's what we do. We give everything away. But I'll admit, I kept this for myself. For the first time ever, I kept something for myself, and it was this because, it fits. It fits. And, hey, the stash needs the guns out. But that being said, though, it was amazing to go through the process that we had to give away these tickets and for it to land for those 2 ladies and for it to be that much of a important situation for them and how much it meant for them to be there. And then exactly, it was such an amazing atmosphere. Chris Longstein in the chats is saying it was such an amazing atmosphere inside of Elmley. Not only was it a positive thing for them to win, they got to be at a game it was just a huge positive love fest. Really, it was just high
That was-
fives everywhere. You know,
Something like that was the whole reason I started Thunderbolts, because of the fact that
I started this.
I probably have given tickets to people's first game at least 150 times, at least.
And now there's 150 new Lightning fans.
Well, and Derek Yates, dude, you got to say something for round 2, okay?
And
you already
just
won tonight. You already got a star in the chat. You can't win again this series. You got to say something because gotta love spring football in Tampa. Clearly trolling Michael Willibon, saying that we're not a hockey town, saying that we're just waiting for SEC football and spring football. Derek Yates.
we did score the touchdown and the extra point today.
Yeah, we did. We did. Yeah, damn right we did. 6+1.
But that was the whole reason I started Thunderbolts. It was moments like this, and to be able to do that to people. That's like when I can't think of his name. Steve always gives the tickets to us. Mendingo always gives us the tickets, and he's like, "Why don't you ever sit down there and give away your seats when you're going to the game?" And I'm like, "No, I've sat in the 100s before. I want people to have the chance to sit in the 100s that have never gotten that chance. I've had those experiences. There's things I never thought I'd be able to experience at Emily that I've been able to do. And I like that people are able to do that stuff. And so it's really cool when people get to go to games that either A, can't afford it, B, just need to get away from real life for a moment. Let's do that.
I love it whenever a shooter and I go to fucking select the same comment at the same time. I agree.
Lies, Schoolie, lies. You know it was me,
Scott Nightingale,
Scott.
in the chat coming through saying that Thomas Schooley said he started Thunderbolts to meet him.
Yeah.
He's tired of the lies.
It's funny because everybody used to think
Schooley it wasn't Steven Stamkos. No. It was Scott Nightingale that he stalked first. And he created this group to meet Scott Nightingale, not Steven Stamkos like everybody thinks. It's nothing to do with Stamkos. It's all about Scott Nightingale.
Scott gave
now we know. Now we know.
Scott came when we first met Scott. He gave this arrogant aura to him that we just thought he was just going to be this arrogant guy, and he is far from that. He is one of the silliest, fun guys to hang out with, except for when he gets drunk.
Except when he's on the whiskey.
Nobody on the show is like that at all. Then
he's just dumb. But actually, Scott is one of the greatest guys. I'm glad we made him an admin on Thunderbolts. But my last thing on this is I think this is it. I think the series is over. I think the Lightning have smelled blood in the water now, and they're going to finish at Game 6 at Emily and move on to the second round.
I think that what you see now is that all lines are activated, right? Mm-hmm. All systems go.
Yeah.
Right. So Orozco, like obviously I've been talking about it for weeks now about the dial, not a switch for this team overall. Dial, not a switch. Well, Pat Maroon turned the switch up to fucking 11 tonight. Straight up. Pat Maroon was at 11. The rest of the team finally got up to like that 9, maybe a 10. For a while, that first period was a 10. I'll say that right now. That Lightning team, first period playing 10 hockey, quintessential Lightning hockey. The first 20 minutes, and really, the first 40 minutes, quintessential Lightning hockey. And then finally, you saw a little bit of a counterpunch from Toronto, but it wasn't enough. The Lightning answered back again, and I agree. It is body blows for the win, back-to-back, 3 wins in a row for the Lightning, and Lightning in 6, as I said, coming into the series.
Yeah. Killer scores next game.
I hope
What's
so.
That?
Killer scores.
Next game.
I think Killer's gonna have 2 goals in the next game.
Let's see what happens. I'm not with you guys yet. I'm hopeful that we broke the Maple Leafs. We raked the Maple Leafs, but all season long, we have seen this team be inconsistent. So I'll be a little bit more bought in if they can win Game 5. I'll be a lot more confident. But until then, I think we're going 7 games. And this is a heavyweight matchup. And like we talked about, if we can get into that next round it might be a little bit smoother sailing than we originally thought. So we got to get there first.
I was saying this on social media yesterday. I do believe if the Lightning, it's like, so the last couple of seasons, it's been the Islanders that have been our biggest test. Even though we had a great matchup against Carolina, we had Florida, like those were good series. It was the Islanders. 2 back-to-back seasons when we got through the Islanders, that was our test. But it was later, right? It was later in the playoffs. It wasn't
Always
the first,
the third.
second round.
Yeah, third
round. That's the ECFs, right? This season, our biggest test is the first round. That's all there's to it. It's the first round.
Maybe.
I still don't think there's a team in the,
I think there's some deeper teams, but the goalies are an issue for a lot of them.
I think only if Boston comes out or Carolina. Carolina doesn't scare me anymore.
Boston doesn't scare me.
Boston doesn't scare me. I just think they match up well against us. But I don't think they don't really scare me. I
don't think Boston has a mentality to beat Tampa right now.
All right, we have to win this series first. Can we end the show? Can we just end the show? We had a good game. We had a good game.
Don't you
win the series. Then we'll talk about the next team.
Don't you cut me off to end the show.
I've only been trying to end it for 25 minutes.
don't you treat me like shit.
Let your laptop.
I can't. I'm not on a laptop. I have to flip my whole table.
Okay.
But hold on, I got a message from Shooter.
I gotta read.
All right. Are you done? Are you done?
Message from Ty. No, Ty has his last take of the third period. I gotta read Ty's thing.
Let's just hear this sound. One more time.
7 wasn't enough.
As if we haven't heard it enough tonight.
7 wasn't enough.
And let's leave it at that. We're gonna be back.
Wasn't that show in the 80s? 8 is enough. Wasn't that the 90s, right?
No,
the one to beat T-Tap. 8 is enough. Yeah, 8 is enough.
I don't know what
we
that
need
is.
more. 7 not enough. We need 8. Next game, 8. 8-2.
Let's get 8 next game. Next game is going to be a huge 5, game.
8-2.
So join us Tuesday.
The official watch party is at Armature Works.
Armature.
Not down at Sparkman. So
good. Switch it up.
Yep, you can bring your own chairs there.
You can bring your chairs. You can bring your boats.
Yeah.
You can bring your passion. Like Peter Blake says, just don't bring the nonsense.
There you go. So I know a lot of people will be out there, but make sure you tune in for Tuesday. And if you did not get to watch or listen, it's on the podcast feed for any of the podcast. If you don't follow our podcast, go follow it on whatever your Apple podcast or Spotify or whatever. Give us a good review too.
Find us on YouTube, really.
Yeah. You should watch it too, because he's on video and stuff. But go listen to that tomorrow, and then come back on Tuesday night, and we'll be on after the show. And hopefully, we're going to be celebrating the Bolts coming back here to possibly close out the series. Until then,
this
has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder.
That's it?